think Randy is echoing a lot of the sentiment from many game developers behind the scenes. I mean, you know, they in their conference rooms like, these broke mother. So Randy Pitchford, CEO of Gearbox, stepped in some dog doo-doo today. So what's going on, people? We're just gonna sit and chat a little bit about this whole firestorm that Randy Pitchford just caused today. So long story short, Randy Pitchford gets into a Twitter back and forth about the price of the game being possibly $80. The user basically said that, you know, this game better not be 80. Don't take the risk, Randy. Keep it at a reasonable price. And Randy said, stop being broke, you troglodyte, you absolute peasant. I'm playing. I'm adding extra sauce to it. Let's check out the post. So the original post that started this was by Diamond D Jew whatever, saying, Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't gonna pay $80 and feed this notion of constant price or constant increase of the price tag. You are the CEO, you have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. Randy then responds, not my call, first off. And second, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Now, real quick, before we go any further, let me help you out, Randy. Here's the thing that you have to understand, Randy. Nobody wants to hear how much you had to pay for a game back in 1938. I know you didn't say 1938, but nobody wants to hear all that when they have to go to the grocery store and eggs are $76.82.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
All right, let me start there. No, you start bringing in, you know, how much you had to pay back in your day and all. It just makes people hear old man back in my day type stuff. I just wanted to get that out of the way first. Now let me get this out the way, because I'm with what I'm gonna say first off is gonna piss some people off. Just hear me out. just I'm gonna get that out the way. Is he correct? Kind of.
What did he say?
He's kind of correct. It's not his call. He doesn't have any say, or not he doesn't have any say, but he doesn't have much say on the price of the game. Sure, he can make an argument for why the price needs to be lower, but it is the publisher who gets to make that decision because they're the one fronting the money. It's not his money, it's their money. So he kind of has to, you know, march to the beat of their drum. That with all that out of the way, put your pitchforks down. That's it. That's all I'm gonna defend. Now, the second part of this tweet, with him saying, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. Where I think that he fucked up is when he added on the, if you're a real fan. That's where he messed up. If he had just said, I'm sure some people may be able to, you know, find a way to make it happen. It's not on me, you know, whatever, I understand. You know, people would have been upset, but they wouldn't have, like, you know, raged the way they have. But because he said, if you're a real fan, it kind of to the fans, and I'm not a Borderlands person. I'm brand new to the franchise, but just from the outside looking in, it seems like it's basically like a slap in the face to the people who have paid and played your games for as long as this franchise has been a thing. You know, when you're the one basically asking people to give you money, you don't want to do it. You don't want to say anything that's basically going to be a slap in the face. Like I said, you want to be a bit more tactful about it. Say, you know, I understand the concern about it. It's not really, I don't really have a say in it. I get it. You know, game prices are going up, but if there's any way, if you can find a way to make it happen, cool. But if you have to wait for a sale, I understand. You know, be more compassionate about it. And not to say that he was completely dismissive, but it feels that way when he added in the "you're not a real fan." It just strikes of dismissiveness and basically you need to get your money up.
I'm broke, nigga.
Now, from a non-Borderlands fan outside looking in, from my understanding, Borderlands is supposed to be like Destiny, a big sandbox game. You know, it's huge. It's, you know, there's lots to do in the game. So I kind of feel like $80 maybe is a good price for it. I don't know, like how much is in Borderlands that makes it worth 80? Because I'm gonna bring it back to Destiny, you know, not current Destiny, but you know, like older Destiny. There were many times in Destiny's history where the game would have been actually very easily worth $80. Now, would people have been happy about it? No, but would it have been worth it with the amount of content was in it? If you bundled, you know, seasons together plus the base game, yes, it was absolutely worth 80. And that's why I'm asking, you know, what is the start? What's the start point of a Borderlands game? And by start point, I mean like how much content is generally from the past, because they're on Borderlands like 4, right? From the past, like 1 to 3 and whatever else. Did the game come out with a substantial amount of content in it? And the reason I'm bringing that up is because the next comment down I saw was from Synth Potato saying, dog, we are not paying $80 for a Borderlands game, fully knowing you'll do multiple season passes that'll cost another $100 and you'll probably sell weapon skins too. So like, what I'm wondering is, does Borderlands, at least in the past, has it released with a plethora of stuff to do? Or is it like how old Destiny would be, where it was like it would get put out almost in like a husk state where there wasn't much to do, and then over time it got like a few more seasons got added to it, and then it was probably worth the $100 or whatever? Like, is Borderlands kind of in that boat? Like, which camp is it in? You know, I feel like Randy, for the most part, what he had to say made sense to me. It was just that extra, you're not a real fan, that's where he really fucked up. You know, that's where it went left. Everything else that he had to say, I get it. I see what he's saying. Now, am I happy about $80 games? No. $80 games are, you know, if it sucks. It's a reality that was going to happen at some point. Like, if you thought that games were going to stay at $60, like, I don't understand how you thought that it was going to stay like that. Now, should games cost $80? That depends on the game. Some games, in my personal opinion, would be worth $80. However, there aren't that many of them. There's like a couple. Most games, I feel, as far as quality goes, as far as the amount of stuff you can do, store, whatever, I don't know if 80 is the number I would hit, but I understand that because of inflation and stuff like that, this was just bound to happen. It sucks ass. It truly sucks. I do not, nobody wants to fork over more money, but it was something that was going to happen with game prices, you know, because they, you know, we didn't want them to do anything with microtransactions. You know, we railed against DLC, railed against microtransactions. So the only thing they can really do is raise the price of the games, unfortunately. The really scary thing is that I mean, you know, it's not going to stop at 80. There's no way it's stopping at 80. I have always argued it's going to be 100. It's now, let me be perfectly clear. I am not saying I want it to be 100, because I've seen that happen with other content creators where they say something's gonna happen. It's like, oh, you want this to happen. No, I do not want to pay $100 per game. I am just aware of the reality that that's probably gonna happen with some games. And unfortunately, again, some games can possibly be worth $100. However, that the number of that you can count on probably 3 fingers. And the problem is that these companies are going to feel like, well, our game is going to be worth $100. We are confident in our game that it's $100. It's worth $100. No, it's not. But that's all I really got to say about it. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about the comment itself. Do you think the entire comment was bad, or do you think that do you agree with me where it was all right until he hit on that real fan part, and that's where he fucked up? Or do you think that the entirety of his comment was perfectly fine? So get in the comments, let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Y'all take care.